That's, yeah, I wasn't sure what the theme.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
Going live, by the way.
I remember sending him instructions. But Adam, you probably. I'm trying to remember what it. Boy, Wayne, you really ruined the flow of the night. You got a lot on your agenda. The way he does it, though.
I can talk real fast.
Public Works and feast or famine.
Well, it's the last meeting of the year, right?
Cram it all in, right? Like when you set up a new. Like when you set up a new email account on an Apple phone, you go through, you hit exchange, you gotta enter the server names. I don't know now.
Ryan, are we good? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I have 7 p.m., so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Pileski.
Here.
Trustee Berkshire.
Here.
Trustee Delapenna.
Here.
Trustee Domke.
Here.
Trustee Delanisa.
Here.
Trustee Prokowski.
Here.
And Trustee Trejo.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you so much. We'll move to presentation of the prepared agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We'll now move to Village Board public comment. Anyone wishing to provide a comment on a topic of or on an agenda item may address the Village Board during the public hearing segments by submitting comments in advance using our online form or during the meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone submit in advance?
We do. We have 2. First one is from David Yoakum. And Mr. Yoakum asks, why did we not wait until the infrastructure bill for village distributions were known? And then he suggests at least make your rate raises pending.
So Karen or Tom, any comments or remarks as far as why we didn't wait for the infrastructure bill to kind of become crystal clear before implementing the water rate adjustments for 2022?
Well, if I may, the infrastructure bill, that if they're talking about the second one that hasn't come out yet, we haven't received, the bill hasn't passed either the House or Senate, I don't think either chamber, but since we can't rely on that money and we don't know what our allocation would be for the funds from the state, let alone what our funds would be, we were hesitant to commit any of those, any money for that. So, we can't base it on that. We did get the ARPA money. We got a half of that, 1.5 million. But so far, some of that is committed to the business incentive program. And also we have some stormwater projects coming up, but also we have about $42 million in water and sewer projects in the next several years that, that money will be taken up by some of that as well. So we needed to raise the rates to commit to those projects.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And I think building on that, obviously there's a lot of headlines and a lot of news out there about what's coming in or out of Springfield or DC for that matter. And, we had operational constraints after 3 years of not increasing our rates that we had to look at our books and do what's right for our long-term future. But to what you had mentioned, Tom, we've got tens of millions of dollars over the next couple of years of projects that need to be done. And obviously we want to leverage, federal dollars, state dollars, grants, the county, and work with every agency out there to help make sure that we can defer those costs or rather defray them more. But a lot of that is uncertain and we don't have guidance on what that's going to look like. So in the meantime, I think we'll have a lot of conversations next year about what we should do or what we could do to help with that. So Any other comments?
Yes, one more from Mark Mandolini, and the topic is Roselle Shopping Center, 800 East Nergy, distracting strobing lights. I would like the board to review current regulations regarding commercial parking lot lighting located within Roselle. Roselle Shopping Center, located at 800 East Nergy Road, utilizes parking lot lighting that emits a strobing effect. The strobing lights make the location appear to be unkept, decrepit location. With the Roselle name tied to this location, it may give passerbys, in addition to myself, that the town of Roselle is unkept and decrepit as well. If there are no regulations regarding upkeep of lighting within Roselle, I request that the board consider requirements and regulations that are reasonably achievable. This will ensure Roselle businesses portray the town as the town would like to be portrayed. Retail space is available at this location, according to Roselle.com. To promote new businesses to choose Roselle as a future location, having a more welcoming portrayal of businesses is likely beneficial and truly is where tradition meets tomorrow.
Ryan, do we have a chance to reach out to the shopping plaza owner at all yet?
Yes, so the owner of Strike 10 is also the shopping center owner as well. So last week he had 3 exterior parking lot lights that were having some issues. He had a contractor show up on Friday there to fix it, but due to the rain, couldn't complete the work. So he's scheduled to get back out there tomorrow to finish it. And then staff did reach out back to the complainant and let him know what's going on, and we'll follow up tomorrow to make sure the work's done.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Do you have any members of the public here today that wish to make a public comment? Come on up, Terry.
My name is Terry Erickson. I have 2 comments that are both fairly short. Please bear with me because I'm going to try something new by reading them to stay on focus. And I'm going to try not to let my emotions get the best of me. Over the last few months, there have been 3 construction projects in the area which have greatly disrupted pedestrian access with no alternate access in place. There are also a dozen unsafe or unfair situations for pedestrians, which have been in existence for a long time. Many of these are along county or state jurisdictional roads. So it is very obvious that these agencies do not truly care about the residents of our community. Some people simply talk about wanting a better community for the residents. There is a value in communications, but a community is better served by its active residents, those who not only speak up to voice a problem, but then work towards a resolution of those problems. One voice is rarely enough to make an impact. So we need a platform for our collective voices to be heard. I have created such a platform on my Protect Peds website under petitions under Roselle. This page currently links to 7 active petitions. There's supposed to be 9, but 2 had problems loading. 1 for each specific area of unsafe or unfair situations. Other problems do exist, but can be added as needed later on. It is my hope that together we can raise our voice so that the city, county, state, and federal governments can know that we all want a safer community with equal access for all. Please help with your signatures and spread the word so that others may share their voice also. The more voices, the better the chances for positive change. And my second comment. Another way that residents are helped is when organizations provide community services. In the last month, Trinity Lutheran Church has held their annual clinic and toy store events. These provide food, clothes, and toys for needy residents. I want to publicly give a huge thank you to Trinity for their outstanding efforts and service. Also, a huge thank you to those people who donated their time, items, or financial help to these events. Events like this provide a direct and positive impact to our community. Other great organizations included the United Methodist Church Food Pantry, Maddie's Mittens, and Phil's Friends. Last but not least, the Roselle Lions Club also supports both the community and various community support organizations. I offer another huge thank you to all of these groups and any I have missed. Your work is not unnoticed. Your work is greatly appreciated. And I urge everybody who is able to do so to please donate your time, items, and/or finances to any of these community support efforts. Also, please donate your voice and opinions to help us gather support for community safety and fair access on the petitions. I also believe in the worthiness of small businesses. I want to offer another huge thank you to the Village of Roselle, city staff, the Roselle Public Library District for coordinating the recent Winterfest event, which drew residents to the small businesses on Main Street. Thank you to Liz, who coordinated this event for the city, the many other volunteers who helped with the event, the performers, and to the Boy Scouts for providing free popcorn. And thank you to the Lions Club and American Legion Hall for doing the ornament craft event. All of this is a true example of the great and positive things a community can do. Let's fight against the negative and keep positive going strong. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Very well spoken. And thank you for being such an involved and dedicated resident for us. Any other members of the public today that wish to make a comment? Seeing none, we'll move to official and staff reports. I have none at this time besides thank you everyone for a great year. I know this is our hopeful last meeting of the year, barring anything coming up for a special meeting, but you know, it's been a lot of change this year. So I appreciate everyone coming along for the ride for that. So I do know the administrator will provide an update on the railroad merger for the public and for the board as well later on. So we'll cover that then. Any trustees have a report tonight? Yes, Tom.
I just want to make sure that everyone is aware that subscriptions are open for Flags for Roselle right now. They'll be running through the spring. Basically, we'll be taking subscriptions. It's, as you all know, a very, very great organization. It supports several of the community organizations around town with the money it raises. So yeah, be sure to subscribe if you get a chance.
All right. Village clerk?
No report.
Village attorney?
Just very briefly, agenda item 13D. I have provided some clarifications in the contract. And probably the most prominent one is to make sure that we get the manufacturer's warranties on delivery of the product. I'm going to tender that down to Patty. Nothing further.
Thank you so much. Village administrator?
Thank you, David. I'll just provide the board and the community a quick update on the Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern Railroad merger. As the board knows, Roselle is in a coalition of communities along the rail line. We most recently had a conversation today as there are kind of two key deadlines this week. One end of day today was to submit a notice of intent to participate in the Surface Transportation Board kind of hearing process. So we have done that. Itasca took the lead on that. and submitted it along with the names of all the other communities along the line. Also, public comment can be submitted through Friday, the 17th. There were some public meetings last week. The village and all those communities as part of the coalition will be submitting written comment by the end of day Friday in order to assist with the notice of intent as well as the drafting of those public comment letters. Through Itasca, the coalition has engaged some experts. So we will be, I'll be able to approve some expenditures well underneath my authorization level in order to complete the letter as well as to share in the cost of the notice of intent. We also spoke today with the Daily Herald reporter, wanting to make sure that there's as much public notice about the ongoing public comment process. We feel that as a community, we were kind of caught off guard by this merger. Some of the notices we received and the short timelines in which to submit information. So we have done through our e-news as well as through our social media posts have reached out to the community and kind of gave them a little high-level review of what this merger could mean to Roselle. I'm pleased to say there's a handful, 6, maybe 7 comments that you can see posted to the Surface Transportation website that were on behalf of Roselle residents. Hopefully this article with the Daily Herald also generates additional participation by the community. I expect then to report back probably that first meeting in January with the board between the 17th or, after the deadline of Friday. And then, the communities are talking about having to formulate a little more around what this coalition will do, maybe what its budget will be. If there are other sort of experts that we want to engage in the process, we're going to talk through that and we'll have to report back to our respective boards to get direction. Maybe have to approve some intergovernmental agreements that kind of outline the cooperation that we anticipate doing here. We have 6, maybe 7 communities. We've reached out to a couple others. So hopefully an attempt to spread any of these costs across the group. So you can look for more of that information for your board meeting in January. And once the public comment letter that will be signed by the mayor is posted, certainly we'll share that to the board as well as to the greater community. So they have a better understanding of sort of the concerns, issues, questions that we'll raise as part of this initial public comment process. And with that, I'll take any questions from the board if they have any about where we're at in the process.
Any questions at this time? Seeing none, I appreciate the update for the group. We'll move on with our agenda to unfinished business. First, we have the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine, procedural, informational, self-explanatory, or non-controversial in nature and will be enacted in one motion. There will be no discussion of these items. Tonight, we have presentation and approval of the village board minutes of December 6, 2021, adopt a resolution authorizing the execution of a supplemental statement of work to the service provider agreement, adopt a resolution authorizing the village administrator to sign an agreement for janitorial services at various village buildings, and adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute change order number 2 for the 2021 sidewalk replacement and utility dig up program in the amount of $1,935.70. Do I have a motion to approve? Do I have a second? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Yes.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We have nothing under community development or administration. We'll go to fire. Trustee Trejo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to pass an ordinance amending Chapter 23 fees by repealing and replacing Section 23-2 medical paramedic services.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, may I have a roll call?
Trustee Trejo,
Aye.
trustee Domke.
Aye.
Trustee Perkowski,
Aye.
trustee Lanisa,
Aye.
trustee Berkshire,
Yes.
trustee Delapenna.
Aye.
That motion carries.
That's all, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. We have nothing under police. We'll go to public works. Trustee Domke.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to open up a discussion and review of the fiscal year 2021 and fiscal year 2022 budget scorecard that was submitted to us. I believe Jason is basically the presenter.
Yes, thank you, Wayne. I just wanted to make sure the board had visibility over the next couple agenda items that are for purchases in the Public Works Department. As noted, few of these items are unbudgeted, even though we had just wrapped up our budget process, and that's certainly on staff. We missed a couple items, but wanted to make sure you understood kind of from an illustrative purposes what it means to the proposed budget. It doesn't require you to take any formal action to amend the proposed budget for next year, but just wanted to show that based on what you passed budget-wise, how these expenses would fit into it. Also, one of these expenses is bringing it into this fiscal year due to the availability of the product. Usually it's the reverse. We're having to push stuff off because of supply issues, but so that would impact this year's budget, as well as the furniture would impact next year's budget, and the portable lift system would impact the 2021 budget as well. So for any questions in advance, I wanted to make sure that this was on the agenda so that we could answer them.
Any questions? All right, I think you're good to move on then.
The next one then. So I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract between the Village of Roselle and Four Seasons Garage Doors for the purchase and installation of garage doors and openers at the Public Works Vehicle Garage in the amount of $27,870.
There's a second.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? That motion carries.
So we do have another one. I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a portable column lift in the amount of $60,803.35 through the joint purchasing cooperative Sourcewell.
There's a second. Oh, thank you. Any discussion?
Yeah, I went to see this unit. It's amazing. There's a truck sitting on top of 4 pillars. It gives them flexibility of using different docks for repair instead of just a fixed location. It's amazing piece of equipment, I'll tell you. So that's all I have to say.
All right. Any other discussion or comments? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract between the Village of Roselle and Affordable Office Interiors for the purchase and installation of furniture in the Public Works Building in the amount not to exceed $100,000.
For a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
Continuing on with the good vibes, I would like to make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a change order number 1 for the wastewater master plan with Trotter and Associates Incorporated in the amount of $12,000.
There's a second. Thank you. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
I have no more. Mr.
All right, we'll move to finance. Trustee Lanisa.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to approve the accounts payable list from November 23rd of 2021 in the amount of $1,888,354.93.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries.
I'd like to make another motion to approve the accounts payable list for December 13th of 2021 in the amount of $1,969,609.21.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Seeing none, that motion carries. We'll now move on to new business. We have another opportunity for the public to make comment. Any members of the body wish to make a comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll move on to other business. Is there any other business that the board would like to bring forward at this time? We have no executive session tonight, so is there a motion to adjourn?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Any abstentions? Then we'll adjourn the meeting at 7:23. Thank you so much.
How long it took the Bears to lose.